Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. My name is Amanda and I'm doing something super fun today. As you can see, I have two different sides of makeup on my face. One side is 2014 makeup and makeup trends versus 2024 makeup and makeup trends. Before I transport you back into the world of 2014 makeup, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and also hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on my future videos. Let's get right into it. So the left side of my face is going to be 2014 makeup and the right side of my face is going to be 2024 makeup. To be honest, I don't think I've ever been so nervous to film a video. I used to wear a lot of makeup back in the day, and I mean a lot, so I'm going to revisit my old ways and compare them with my new ways of makeup. And there are some things that haven't changed. However, there are some things that are literally polar opposites. I'm pretty sure what I used for primer back in the day was this one by Too Faced. This is their Hangover RX Replenishing Face Primer. And funny enough, Too Faced recently sent me some PR and this was in it, and I've recently fallen back in love with this primer. This is such a good primer. It is hydrating and glowy, but it doesn't have a tint or anything to it. It just really acted kind of like a moisturizer underneath my makeup because honestly back in 2014 I wasn't really into skincare, so this was basically my moisturizer. I'm gonna apply one pump of that, and I just like to apply it with my fingers. Back in the day I used to use this pretty religiously. I never really used any other primers. This was like my main go-to. And I do feel like it helps your makeup last longer as well. On the other side of my face, I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Filter, and this is what I use as a primer as of right now. This is just a really pretty glowy base. I like the doe foot applicator, super easy to apply. It also gives me a little bit of a tan/glow. I look a little sun-kissed after using this, so I've just been really loving this the past year, and I will definitely be carrying this into my 2024 makeup routine. Moving into foundation, I can already feel the feelings that I have about my 2014 makeup. There's so many things about it that I personally would not wear, at least on a regular basis now. This is one of those things. This is the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. This is brand new in the box. This is a medium to full coverage foundation. In my opinion, this is a full coverage foundation. And if you know me, you know I'm not a full coverage girly. It's just personal preference, right? This is makeup. Things obviously change, trends change, but I did used to wear a pretty full coverage base back in the day, so I probably would have loved something like this. Okay, so you can clearly see a difference from this side to this side. This is a pretty full coverage, maybe medium buildable. It's pretty full coverage. And I will say, just a critique, it does look like it is slightly sitting on top of my skin. Just slightly. I typically like my skin to look pretty natural, so this is definitely out of my comfort zone, but honestly, it doesn't look bad. Like, for a full coverage foundation, it's pretty good, and it feels pretty comfortable on my skin as well. Since I don't really wear foundation anymore, I usually opt for a skin tint, a tinted moisturizer kind of thing, and I've really been loving this one by Hourglass. This is their Veil Hydrating Skin Tint. And this is just a really beautiful finish. My skin naturally shines through, although it does kind of even my skin tone. It never looks heavy, always applies beautiful over any primer. I just really love this one. It's so natural looking. I think Hourglass absolutely killed it on this launch. I will definitely be wearing it for the rest of 2024, I'm sure. I'm absolutely obsessed. Okay, so clearly already these are two very different vibes, but let's just bring it even further and move on to concealer. I forget the name of the concealer I used back in 2014, but I do remember it was a glass bottle by MAC and it had a pump on it, and it was the most full coverage concealer ever. And honestly, I don't even know what I was covering up. I didn't have dark circles or really acne at that time, but I just thought full coverage was the only way. So sticking with that theme, I'm going in with the Too Faced Born This Way concealer because this is a very full coverage concealer, and I'm applying it in all the areas where I used to conceal, and I would apply a lot of it. I used to apply my concealer in that kind of typical triangle motion everywhere, upside down triangle on my forehead, on my under eyes, and then on my chin as well. And I would just blend that all out with a beauty blender. Oh my gosh, that is so full coverage. I am not used to this, but I will say all of my little blemishes are covered extremely well. Nowadays, what I look for in concealer is very different, and what the general trend has kind of been throughout 2023 has been very light, serum-y concealers, very thin in consistency, providing good coverage, but definitely not like a full maximum coverage like I would describe this one to be. My favorites at the moment are the Tower 28 Serum Concealer and the Kosas Revealer Concealer. Kosas actually just expanded their Revealer Concealer shade range, so because of that, I'm gonna go in with this one today. I'm gonna use the lifted concealer method and kind of just apply it in all the areas I typically would, cover up any blemishes, but just going in with a much lighter hand and a bit more of a intentional application. I'm just gonna go ahead and blend that concealer out with a Tennille Jai brush, which, by the way, you guys, in case you haven't joined already, you should definitely join my private community. I do live streams there every single week, and I also do really amazing giveaways. The 19th of January, I'm giving away 2 full sets of Tennille Jai makeup brushes, and these are so good. I've been loving her brushes, and so all the rules to enter that giveaway will be available in my group, so just follow the link in the description box to join. In addition to the giveaway that I'm doing, I'm also hosting a masterclass. I'm going to teach you guys everything you really need to know about brushes and which ones are worth it, which ones are not, what you need and what you don't. So if you're into that, definitely join my masterclass. It's free and it's all online, so just follow that link and I hope to see you there. I can already see this concealer beginning to crease on this side, which is not a big deal. We can pat it out and set it down later, but even when I was a lot younger, I would still get these same creases in my smile lines and my under eye lines, which is why I've kind of steered away from the heavy full coverage look. I just feel like, I don't know, it just breaks apart and doesn't wear as good throughout the day, whereas I just feel like this side is just so effortlessly pretty and natural, you know? What side do you prefer? So I am beginning to cringe more and more because the next step I would do in my makeup routine in 2014 would be to powder my whole face so that I could go in with powder bronzer. So I'm going in with the NARS Soft Matte Advanced Perfecting Powder. I'm pretty sure I just used one from Rimmel, like a tinted powder back in the day, but this is very similar, has a little bit of coverage, is fully matte. And yeah, I would basically just put that all over my face, set under my eyes, literally set everywhere, which is a little excessive in my opinion, but we're going with it. First, I'm just gonna pat out underneath my eye and pat out any creases that are starting to happen, because otherwise we will pat those in place and that is not what we want. Once my face is entirely powdered down, I'm gonna go in with powder bronzer that is likely a shade or two too dark for my skin, a little bit orange maybe. This one is by Jaclyn Hill. This is in the shade Vitamin D, and this is actually a really beautiful bronzer, but it's just a little dark for me. And I'm really going in with that bronzer. I went very heavy back in 2014, really focusing around the perimeters of my forehead, a lot on my cheekbone, and I think that's pretty much it. Does anyone remember the ABH contour palette, the powder one? I had that one and used it like crazy, but another one I remember using a lot was the Benefit Hoola bronzer, which is a classic, but I mean, honestly, I haven't picked that one up in a long time. It is a staple in my kit, but for me personally, it's just too dark. And yeah, this is giving what my 2014 bronzer was giving. I don't love it. On the contrary, I currently am such a cream contour girl. I'm going in with this Say Sun Melt Natural Cream Bronzer in the shade Fair Bronze because this is a really nice cool bronze tone that I can get away with using as contour, and this is so natural. It's probably a light to medium buildable coverage, but it melts right into your skin. I'm mainly applying it to those same areas, forehead, cheekbone, focusing a bit more on my jawline as well as the sides of the nose. I always do that. And you can see just how beautifully this melts right into the skin and gives me such a naturally defined finish. This feels so wrong, but I'm just gonna skip blush because in 2014, I didn't wear blush, and tell me if I'm the only one, but I kind of remember the general consensus being no one was really that big into blush. There was a couple kind of blushes that people would really be hyped about, but not like today. So glad that's changed now. I'm going in with the Milk Lip and Cheek cream blush stick in the shade Work. This is such a pretty peachy pink cream blush. I'm just gonna pick it up on a brush and stipple that onto my cheek for a really just natural pinky blush. And since we love blush so much, I'm gonna layer a powder blush right on top of that. I'm going in with the Give Beauty Feelin' Cheeky Amplifying Blush Duo in the shade Lasting Love. I've been obsessed with this shade lately. It's the prettiest, like vibrant pink, but it doesn't look too garish on the skin. It just looks beautiful, like a natural, glowy, sun-kissed flush to the skin. Ugh, I don't even know. It's just absolutely stunning. I am careful to go in with a very light hand because this blush is very pigmented, but just a touch of this blush I feel like just gives the prettiest effect on the cheek. I love it so much. And if you did apply a little too much, just take a powder brush and lightly blend over that. I do feel like the trend these days is a very bold and bright cheek, and I am not mad about that, but it's just interesting how different trends just come and go. I heard someone comparing blush trends these days to like 80s blush, and I never thought about it that way, and I've always been like, ugh, 80s makeup, ugh. But the hardcore blush is like pretty 80s, honestly. While we're here, I'm just gonna quickly set my under eyes on the side of my face with my beloved Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder and a powder puff. I'm just gonna press that into my under eyes and a little bit on my smile lines. I'm gonna just very selectively powder, which again is very opposite to the 2014 side. We all knew this moment was coming. It's time for brows. And for brows, we're using a brow pomade. This is the Brow Code 24-Hour Brow Cremades. Back in 2014, we did our brows bold. Like we just full on drew a big old blocky brow on there and thought it looked so good. I remember the shape of my brows and I'm gonna try and recreate it today, but everything in me is just being like, don't do this. I'm using a thin angled brush to create my brow shape using this brow pomade. Oh my gosh, that is so intense, but that's how I used to wear it, so that's what we're doing today. Oh my gosh. I did kind of mess up a little bit on the tail, and I used to do this back in the day. I used to carve my brow. I still do, but not as crazy. I'm gonna go back in with that Too Faced concealer, and I'm just gonna go over the edges and just sharpen everything up as if it needed to be any more sharp. Okay, so this is pretty much exactly how I would do my brows back in 2014. No brow gel, just brush them in place, hope for the best, carve them up nice and sharp, and don't extend my tail very far. I do not like this, but let's keep going. Needless to say, I do my brows very differently now, and brow trends have really changed a lot. We've been recently seeing a lot of brushed up laminated brows, a little less on the heavy filling in, more light and natural. But what I do and what I will be doing probably for 2024 is just a very simple brow, very undone, just filling in where it needs to be filled and then adding a little bit of brow gel after to fill my brows. Once I've filled my brows in a way that I'm happy with it, I've kind of filled in all the sparse areas and it still looks natural and soft, I do go in with a little bit of brow gel just to set my brow hairs in place, and for that I'm using the Kosas Air Brow Gel. Moving on to eye primer, I used to wear pretty heavy primer on the lids. I used to wear the MAC Paint Pots. I don't have any anymore, but I do want to go and pick some up because they are pretty good eye primers from what I recall. But I will use the Kaleidos Tone Activator Eye Primer today. I'm going to apply a little bit on each lid because I still like to use an eye base every now and then. I'm just using a brush to apply a thin, even layer on both eyes. So for eyes, I dug out a very old and likely expired eyeshadow palette. This is the Cocoa Blend eyeshadow palette from Zoeva. And as you can see, this is very well loved. I couldn't bring myself to throw it away because I loved this palette back in the day. These are like my go-to colors, so I'm going to show you pretty much what I would do every single day. I did the same thing. I'm taking this creamy white shade on a fluffy brush and I'm just setting my whole entire eye with that powder. This just helps the powders you apply on top of it to blend a little bit easier so it doesn't stick too much to that tacky base. And then of course we're going to take a warm brown into the crease. So I'm using this Substitute for Love warm kind of orangey brown shade here. And I'm just going to run that all through the crease. I'm going to build this color up quite a bit. I want this to be pretty pigmented. I'm going to kind of apply it in a V shape on the outer corner. And I'm also really going to wing this out and lift it and flick it up towards my temple for a very elongated eyeshadow shape. So once I'm happy with that shape, I'm just going to further define it a little bit more with this color right here. Just to deepen up the crease, I'm taking it on a detailed blending brush and really just focusing that right in my crease. I'm not blending outside of that first initial shadow that we applied down. So as you can see, I have that very lifted and elongated shape going on. Built some intensity into the crease, but now I want to build even more intensity, but only on the outer corner of my eye. So for that, I'm going to pick up this color here. This is the shade Beans Are White. I'm going to pick that up on a small brush, and I'm just going to be really precise and pack this on my outer corner. Once I have my general shape laid down, I'm just going to blend out the edges with that slightly darker warm brown. I know there was a lot of cut creases back in the 2014-2015 era, but I didn't do a ton of cut creases. However, I did a lot of gold shimmery eyeshadow, so I am going to go in with the shade here. This is actually a really pretty gold shimmery shade. This one is called Pure Ganache, and I'm just going to apply that all over my lid. I'm avoiding the crease as well as that outer corner. So taking a pencil brush, I'm going to do the same thing on my lower lash line as I did in my crease. I'm first going to start off with Substitute for Love and apply that all along my lower lash line and then darken up the outer corner with Freshly Toasted, that darker warm brown. And then using that gold shimmery shade, I'm just going to fill in the gap from the middle of my lower lash line all the way to the inner corner. All right, that is looking very much like a 2014 Slay eyeshadow look. I would have probably loved this back then. And honestly, I don't even hate it now. It's not too bad. It's gonna get worse though. I would wear super thick black winged liner. I don't know if I'll be able to really do the whole thing on camera. I might do my rough shape off camera. I'll be right back. I'm going to use the Urban Decay 24/7 Inks eyeliner in the shade 0 to draw a winged liner shape, not too thick, not too thin, and I'm gonna stop about halfway across my lid. To finish up my eyes, I would always go in with a white eyeliner in my waterline. So I'm using this Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil in the shade All Around White and just lining my waterline. This is going to give me brighter, bigger looking eyes. It's a bit more intense than the nude liners I would typically use, but you get the gist. The eyes are almost complete. I am going to finish off with mascara. I'm going in with the L'Oreal Telescopic Mascara, which I still absolutely love and use to this day. And I'm just applying it to my top lashes because I would never apply mascara on my lower lashes. Okay, so now for falsies. This has been a moment I've been dreading. I'm not gonna lie. I used to wear the most dramatic eyelashes in 2014. Mind you, I was in high school and I would wear these every single day. They were my confidence boost. I could not go without a huge false lash. These are the House of Lashes iconic lashes, and don't get me wrong, these are iconic. They really had their time and place back in the day. All the beauty gurus were wearing them, and they're pretty intense. As you can see, they do a light version, which I have, and I think are really pretty, but I wore these every single day, so I thought, might as well stay true to the vision, use these. I did trim the eye that I'm going to be wearing because these are quite long for my eye, but I'm going to go ahead and apply that right now. Okay, so those are the lashes. They don't look bad. I just can't believe I used to wear them every single day. My eyes feel heavy. I can like see them. I don't feel my cutest, I am not gonna lie, but this pretty much is exactly what I used to wear back in 2014, so I guess mission accomplished. Let's go ahead and do the other eye. This eye is gonna be pretty simple, honestly. I'm gonna go in with my Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes palette. I love this palette, it's so pretty. I'm just gonna go in with my crease color. This is the shade EE3, which is just a really nice light brown. I'm just gonna blend that all through my crease just to give my eyes a little bit of definition. I'm gonna smudge that shade on the lower lash line as well, keeping it nice and tight to my lower lashes. And then I think I'm just gonna pat this really pretty champagne sparkle all over the lid, just really softly, just for a subtle sparkle effect. And then for liner, I'm just gonna do a really simple, timeless shadow liner using this beautiful chocolate brown shade here. Instead of white in my waterline, I'm gonna go in with nude. This one is by Victoria Beckham. This is their Brightening Waterline Pencil. And this is gonna do the same thing. It's gonna make my eyes look brighter and more awake, but it's just a little less harsh than white. Something I've personally been loving and something I anticipate being a huge trend in 2024 is brown mascara. This one by YSL, their Lash Clash #2 mascara, is a beautiful brown mascara. I've been wearing it so often lately. I'm just going to apply an even layer to my top and bottom lashes. I feel like that brown mascara really makes my green in my eyes pop. I don't know, I just really think it's pretty and natural, and I do see a lot of brands coming out with brown mascaras and them doing really well, so I do think we're just gonna see a lot of really lighter mascara trends in this year, as well as even no mascara. I really think the whole no mascara look is gonna be trending. As I said before, some things just never change. I still love an inner corner highlight, and I really loved an inner corner highlight way back in 2014. So I'm gonna go in with MAC Soft and Gentle, this highlighter right here, and I'm just gonna apply that in the inner corner on both eyes. While we have this MAC Soft and Gentle highlighter, I'm gonna apply that to my cheekbones on my 2014 side because I used to love powder highlighter. This one is still on the Soft and Gentle side, but I do just feel like powder highlighters were more popular back then, whereas now it's more so cream highlighters. The cream highlighter I'm going to use on this side is by Victoria Beckham Beauty. This one is my favorite. I love it so much. It's more of a balm instead of like a shimmery metallic highlighter. It's very subtle. It's kind of just like a gloss. Oh, it's so pretty and natural, and the packaging is stunning. I'm sure this will come as a surprise to absolutely no one, but my love for MAC Whirl Lip Liner goes back so far. I loved it back in 2014. I love it now, and I 100% will be using it for 2024. Some things truly never change. I feel like I'm gonna love this lip liner for the rest of my life. It's what I have on my lips right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and apply my lip products right on top of that. This was really easy for me. MAC Myth lipstick in 2014 was my go-to. It was basically concealer lips in a lipstick, but in the best way. I still love this lipstick, but I wore it a lot back in 2014, maybe a little too much. I use it a little more sparingly now, but yeah, I really loved a nude lip back then. I think we're gonna see one of two things in 2024, or maybe even both. I think we'll see a lot of really pretty sheer, like lip balm lipstick hybrids, very pretty, like soft pinks, kind of like bitten lip vibes, more of a tint. Or on the other hand, I think we'll see a lot of very like vibrant, dark, almost like 90s-esque lips, very heavy liner, very intense color, stuff like that. For right now, I'm going in with my Ilia Balmy Tint in the shade Hold Me. This is such a beautiful lipstick lip balm hybrid. I love this one so much. The color is this perfect, pretty pink peach. I am absolutely obsessed. I never really wore lip gloss back in 2014. I would just stick with this very nude matte lip combo, but I wear gloss all the time now. I'm actually obsessed with gloss. So I'm going in with this Laura Mercier Lip Glacé in the shade Baby Doll. I love these lip glosses. They're very sheer, but they have a little bit of color payoff with some sparkle. Oh, and they smell so good. I love them. All right, you guys, that is it for today's video. What do you guys think? Which side do you like better? Do you guys remember any of these products or trends back from 2014? This tutorial fully brought me back to 2014. I was like feeling all the feels, kind of nostalgic, kind of like triggering at the same time. I don't know, I'm glad we've evolved past certain makeup trends. I'll just say that, okay? I'm liking 2024 makeup, and I'm really excited to see the new trends that come from this year and the coming years. I think makeup is so fun. You're not supposed to take it too seriously, okay? Things change. You can wipe it off at the end of the day. Makeup is what you make it, and whatever you like is what you like. But anyways, you guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and also hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on when I post next. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.